The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe. This is the United Podcast Network.
Welcome to the Pit Life Barbecue Podcast. Join us around the pit as we talk all things barbecue. Now here is your host, Johnnie Mags.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Pit Life Barbecue Podcast. Thank you all for tuning in, coming to you live from the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe in Salem, New Hampshire. Beautiful day, the weather, fantastic.
Spring in New England, baby.
Oh, did you hear that? How'd you get in my room?
I snuck in. That's what I do.
You don't sneak in nowhere.
Hard for a 6'10" dude to sneak anywhere, right?
No shit.
Yeah.
What's up, Cmac?
Glad to be back. Thanks for the call. You know I'm always here for you.
Yeah, brother. Hell yeah, especially with our guest, you know.
Actually, I just came here for Chrissy.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
A little boom boom.
Hi.
Boom, boom, that's right.
That sounded.
Makes the world go round. That's fine. Let's go
That's
with
her
it.
nickname, all right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, listen, going boom boom is better than the one I had to slip back a few months ago with everyone trying to get into your back door.
Yep.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hey, this is a family program.
Oh, it
right?
wasn't that day. I was having all types of issues.
Holy
But
cow.
yeah, I figured perfect. You know, we got Chris coming on. You know, we'll get the Team Big Green Egg boys together.
Right. I was thrilled.
You know, and we got the book just in the nick of time.
Yes.
Within, like, when I say just the nick of time,
Literally
we're talking
just walking out the
within
door.
the last hour.
Yep.
You know, we've been scheming all day. Well, let's see who we got. We got Daddy Dutch. We got you, of course. Gray, what's up? Kyle, what's happening? But yeah, let's get into it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We're going to do our sponsors. Oh, I didn't know whether we were letting C-Mac jump in
I don't
today.
know, you want to do
now.
it?
You've been doing such a great job. I've been
Thank
watching,
you.
so you know,
Yeah,
I might have to insert a couple of things,
All right.
facts as we go along.
Yeah,
but
you be like my hype man. All right, let's go. All right, today's show is brought to you by the #1 best tasting shake on the planet, Uncle Steve's Shake. Uncle Steve's Shake is handmade, hand-measured, hand-mixed, and hand-packed. Uncle Steve's Shake is made with the finest of ingredients and comes in 13 amazing flavors, including the brand new CJ's West Coast Shake. We also have the competition line and the incredible dessert shake. And don't forget the newest addition to the Uncle Steve family, the sauce with no name. No matter what you're eating, Uncle Steve has a shake for it. If you have any questions, Uncle Steve has great customer service. You know why? Because it's him. He will help you with all your shake needs. Go to UncleSteveShake.com to order your shakes today. Also on the website, you're going to find some awesome tips and recipes, and you'll be amazed at just how versatile these shakes are. While you're online, head on over to Facebook as well and join the Uncle Steve's Shake Nation to stay up to date with all the latest creations made using Uncle Steve's shakes, and maybe even share some of your own. It's time to step up your backyard barbecue and your competition barbecue game with Uncle Steve's Shake. Uncle Steve's Shake, shake some on everything.
And Chrissy.
Yes.
I have a trivia question for you. I got from a little bird messaged me today.
Okay.
What do you get when you have somebody from Louisiana move to Texas?
Oh. What do you get?
You have the Texas Cajun Shake.
Oh yeah, I can't wait.
Putting the final touches on it, so everybody stay posted in all the, Facebook, Instagram, Uncle Steve Shake Nation. They'll have all that information.
It's coming just in time for Riverfest. Cmac's
Riverfest,
Riverfest, Cajun style, baby.
Oh,
you know how we do it.
Perfect timing, but
That's
yes,
right.
keep your eyes out for the Texas Cajun Shake.
I'm excited for that.
Come on with it.
God.
Also brought to you by Two Guys Smoke Shop and TwoGuysCigars.com. Whether I'm barbecuing or not, I always keep the smoke rolling thanks to my friends at TwoGuysCigars.com. Today I am smoking nothing, but if I was, it would have came from TwoGuysCigars.com. Thanks to my friends at TwoGuysCigars.com, I get to smoke some of the best cigars in the world, and so can you. Just visit TwoGuysCigars.com for your perfect barbecue companion. That's the number 2, GuyCigars.com. halfmoon.com.
Today's show also brought to you by Magna Chef Gloves. Whether you're a family grill master or the professional pit master, quality tools make it easier for you to be your best on that grill. Longtime firefighter and founder and good friend of the show, Al Infante knows a thing or two about fire management. He designed the Magna Chef Gloves and the Freedom Barbecue Gloves for you to get in and out of fast. With the magnetic swivel plates, you can easily slip in and out of these gloves. They will keep your hands cool and allow you to cook and grill safely. No more getting stuck in hot gloves. Depending on your glove preference, Magna Chef has two fantastic options for you. Option 1, the classic Magna Chef Barbecue Glove. If you are watching, you can see them on screen. They are made of food-grade silicone. They web fit for firmer grip, dishwasher safe, one size fits all, and heat rated up to 500 degrees Fahrenheit. What's that on the Cmac scale?
793.
All right. Your second option is the Freedom Barbecue Gloves, a more traditional 5-fingered, flexible and pliable grip, a 14-inch long cuff to protect your forearms, made of heat-resistant neoprene, heat rated up to 932 degrees Fahrenheit.
9,000.
There you go. These gloves help extend your time over the fire. Both styles of Magna Chef gloves are great for barbecue and kitchen use. Head on over to magnachef.com today. That's MAGNE chef.com and get yourself a pair of each. And at the checkout, make sure you use the promo code FREEDOMLIVES for 10% off your order. Magna Chef barbecue gloves, master the fire. Freedom barbecue gloves, take a stand, free your hand.
Also brought to you by CustomCuttingBoardsRUs.com. Ian Hemming out of Magnolia, Texas, is creating and designed what I consider the Yeti of cutting boards. These boards take an absolute beating from their dishwasher board, which is your standard countertop board, to the absolutely massive 18 by 36-inch brisket board. And now pizza is being such a jumping into the comp world. He's got that covered too with the pizza board for that perfect even slice every time. The deep reservoir lip to catch all that juicy goodness.
I love when you talk dirty.
Yes. the rubber nubs on the bottom. So even on a wet surface, these boards will not slip on you. No accidental stitches anymore. They will not move. Engraving available, so your team name, anything you want engraved, he can do it. Multicolors available. Check them out at CustomCuttingBoardsRUs.com. Tell them I sent you. That's CustomCuttingBoardsRUs.com. That's the letter R, us.com.
Beautiful.
How about that?
Look at that.
You're getting pretty good at this, you know.
Yeah.
Let's see, he got all types of boys in here today. Mad Max calling you out. What's happening? Cmac. Jen Lee, how are you, darling? David LeConte. Justin Webb, Chris Sandor, Big Rome. All right. Ray Sheehan, what's going on, brother? Kyle. Yep, Kyle.
They're all coming out. For
Texas
this guy.
Cajun is on its way, boys. Get ready. But let's get into it. I'm excited. This one, you're here.
Yeah.
We're here. Chris is here. So let's go.
Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome, making his second appearance on the show, coming to us live from Florida, we have the BBQ Buddha, Chris Sussman. What's up, brother?
What's happening, guys? What's up?
How you doing, brother?
I'm doing A-okay. How about you, C-Mac?
Living the dream, baby.
So I have to tell you, during that whole build-up and when I was in the green room and you all were doing your thing, I was getting a little misty because when he was introducing you and you said the only reason I came on here was because of Chrissy. Well, at that time, I didn't realize the producer's name was Chrissy. So I'm off camera going, he loves me. He's only doing this because of me, and he's calling me Chrissy.
That was
and
my
then I
pet
found
name.
out that her name is Chrissy. So
That was my pet
I'm
name.
now
for
sitting
Chris.
on a milk carton. That's for sure.
Could be worse things to sit on, my friend.
There you go.
yeah.
Didn't you just say something about a family show?
True. Sorry.
No, we
wasn't gonna
blew
touch
that out
that
the
one.
water. So Chris, man, thank you so much for taking the time to join us. I can't wait to get into the new book. But real quick, give us a little rundown on who you are, how you started into the cooking, culinary, and barbecue journey.
Got it. My name is Chris Sussman, otherwise known as the BBQ Buddha. I know that Ray Sheehan is on here. He had a line of rubs and sauces named BBQ Buddha, so a big shout out to Ray and his new restaurant over there in New Jersey. Hey, Ray. I have been cooking on a Big Green Egg since 2009, 2010 is when I got my first Big Green Egg. And what brought me to the barbecue world is my dad was a restaurateur, and his favorite, comfort food was barbecue. So outside of his restaurant and our love for the food service industry there, we'd always be on the hunt for the best pulled pork barbecue sandwich. And so that's where my quest and love for barbecue really began. And so here I am, 2 books later.
Beautiful, yeah. 2 books later. The first book came out, was it 2020?
2021, and it was most of it was written in 2020, which was, a good year to write a book.
Right.
Not much else was going on in the world. I was like, sure, I can sit at home and write and do all this stuff. It was a great opportunity.
Well, you say not much going on, but you've had a lot going on for the last few years, right? You've made you and your family have made a big move. You've got cookbooks. Down the line. So you're still fairly new to the Gulfport, Florida area, yeah?
Yeah, this is our third. We just spent our third winter here. We came down here. We had a place down here for the longest time, but we would come down either seasonally or just to visit, really, with the intent of moving down here at some point in time in the future. And then during the pandemic, we came down here for the winter, and I was like, hey, man, if I'm going to be stuck at home doing this kind of stuff, I may as well be stuck at home with a pool and really warm weather and close to a beach. So we made the move. So, yeah, that's a really good point. I mean, after the first book and after the pandemic, I wouldn't say it was over, but let up and people started resuming somewhat of a normal life. We moved from Kentucky down to Florida. So it was a lot of change in the last couple of years.
Well, it obviously suits you guys down there. You look like you've had no problem integrating.
It's I have to say it's a wonderful life, and I love it down here so much that now I've become one of those people. If it gets, God forbid, it's like 72 degrees, I have 2 jackets on and a knit cap, and everybody's from back home. All my northern friends are like, "What are you doing, dude?" I'm like, "I'm cold, is what I'm doing. I'm very cold." So yeah.
I lived in Arizona for 10 years, so that blood starts thinning when you're in those hotter climates. It's a real thing, and yeah.
Does it go back now that you're back in the Northeast?
A little bit, yeah, a little bit.
Or are you still cold?
No. So out here now, I'm a California born and raised, spent 10 years in Arizona too. Now out here, and Mags will tell you, when it hits about 45, 50 degrees, out here New Englanders, we start throwing our shorts on.
Oh yeah. I'm in shorts. I'm in shorts all year long. I'm the asshole you see in the picture, shoveling the driveway in a jacket, a pair of shorts, and boots. I'm that guy.
I used to be that guy until I moved here, and now I'm the opposite of that guy. I'm like 70 degrees, 4 hats later, and I'm a miserable old man now, is what I am.
45 up here, we're ready to go to the beach.
No doubt.
55's a heat wave.
Yeah. Long time.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So let's get into the book. There it is right there. Available in stores today.
And on Amazon.
And on Amazon.
Yep.
Yeah.
Next day shipping.
Today, I feel like one of those people you see in the movies, that are like their movie or their something just came out and they're all in the behind the scenes stuff. What do people think? Where are the first reviews coming in? And then all day long, it's been quiet because nobody gets home and checks. They're like, nobody's at home all day anymore. They're all at work, and then they get home and check their mail. And so, of course, an hour before I came on the show, that's when everybody's flooding. Hey, I got the book. So now I'm,
beautiful.
Yeah.
What was the process, and how did you get approached on the second book? Because your first book was the 4 fundamentals.
Yep.
Which was fantastic.
Thank you.
And that was, I believe, 60 recipes?
There was 50 recipes in that one. But, and this should be noted for your listeners and for anybody that's had to do this or will have to do this. when I signed the first one, the second one, not so much. The first one, I thought I'd be able to just draw upon all the recipes I've been doing online on my blog or on my social media for the last several years. And they're like, no, they have to be all new. So to be able to do the research and development, testing, writing, photography, because I did all my own food photography for 50 new recipes is a tall order. When they turn back around 2 years later and say, hey, do it again and do it for 100 recipes, it was a little bit of a challenge, but I did it. It was fun.
Yeah, nice. But so you go from 50 recipes to they want 100 brand new recipes. Where did you find your, inspiration in your thought process on those recipes?
So when they originally approached me, they wanted to do another narrative. The first book that I wrote is half narrative, half recipes. They wanted to do that again. And my first pitch was like the mastering the Big Green Egg or something like that, or the Big Green Egg, for experts or something. And what I wanted to do is dive into all the science about how the heat transfer works, how it works inside, was the thing, with the assumption that Big Green Egg HQ had all of this data and analytics at their disposal that they would share with me. I'd turn it into a narrative and tell this like behind the scenes story of how it works. Well, there's none of that information out there anywhere. They're like, I don't know. It just heats up and the ceramic just works. I'm like, well, you all say it. They're like, we don't know. We don't do this testing and all that kind of stuff. So I had to pivot, went back with a few ideas, and ultimately they were like, hey, do you think you could crank out a bunch of recipes that just play to your audience, your Big Green Egg audience, and put out 100 new recipes? I said, I'll give it a go. So that's really how that idea was born.
Beautiful, beautiful. Let's see what is
so. Chris, comparing. I don't want to compare because they're two different books, right? Yeah. But I'll tell you, one of the things that I really liked, and we talked about this a little bit about this book, is that it's really kind of a family affair, right? You got your family involved, and wait for it, the dogs too. I did see a shout out for the dogs. All right, it may have been an inside joke. All right, but love the family affair part of it. So talk a little bit about that and where you got some of these recipes from. And I think you had your daughter cook some as well.
Yeah, so with 100 recipes in that short period of time, luckily friends like you and family members all around me, there are lots of people that cook and have recipes in their life. So some of the recipes I have, my wife, Debbie, Mrs. Buddha, otherwise known as Mrs. Buddha, got for me many, many years ago when we were first together. She found through my sister a handwritten all my mom's recipes, and she scanned those in and has like a digital book that she gave me many moons ago. So I have all my mom's handwritten recipes. Oh. So some of my recipes in the book, I just translated from my mom or my grandmother, because my mom also wrote her recipes in there, and then figured out how to do all that stuff on the Big Green Egg. So there's like my Nona's, which is my mom's mom, her recipe for meatballs and Sunday gravy. My mom, she does a really amazing, or did, she's passed, fried chicken. I took her fried chicken and I kind of half smoked it and half fried it on the wok. So I would do these really interesting interpretations of my mom's recipes. Now for my daughter, she's like really into whole eating and clean eating, like Whole30 and gluten-free and all that stuff, which is great for the vegetable chapter.
Yeah, right.
Because when I got down to the vegetable and side dish chapter, I was like, man, I just, other than potatoes wrapped in bacon, I don't have much for you people. So I reached out to my daughter, and she served up big with two really great recipes in the book. And then finally, my neighbor is a big pellet smoker, and he and I, he's seasonal, but when he's here in Florida next door to me, the two of us talk and cook together often. And he shared a couple of his favorite campground recipes with me that, again, I translated from his environment to the Big Green Egg and put them in the book. So it's pretty cool.
Very cool.
Oh, that's great. That is great. But yeah, I love the family input, the family restaurants, family recipes, that have gotten passed down generation to generation.
Listen, anytime you say Nona, meatball, and gravy, You got me right there.
Yes.
Sold. I figured, it's, and that just shows you the versatility of the Big Green Egg.
Yeah.
You see all the commercials, all that stuff. We do it at the Egg Fest and all that, grills, roast, bakes, but it really does. Now, somebody that's 10 feet away from their oven might say, why do I use a Big Green Egg? Well, you don't if you want to go do it in the oven. However, the fact that you can do all of this stuff in a Big Green Egg is what really draws me to that cooker.
And I think that's a great point, because even though, you're a well-known Big Green Egg guy, right? Probably one of the original, members in the BG Green Pro. Even though this has that Big Green Egg focus on it, I mean, these recipes you can really do inside. You can do it, like you said, on your pellet smoker, everything else. But, us BGE guys, we got a special place in our heart for this stuff, so.
Yeah, it's essentially a recipe book, and if you're a Big Green Egger, then you know how to do that. One of the really cool, and if you're not, you put it on your pellet grill. Heat is heat, and in environment, it's indirect or direct, and you can translate those concepts to whatever you're cooking in. One of the chapters that I wrote for this book that I really liked, that's different from any other Big Green Egg book that's out now, is I call it "Can You Really Do That?" And that chapter is taking advantage of all the add-ons that Big Green Egg has come out with in the last several years, like the expander, the plancha, the perforated pans, the wok, pizza stones and wedge, and all of that stuff. So I really do a chapter on all these creative, different types of recipes and stuff that you could do in the Big Green Egg that, of course, you need to go buy these widgets for. But for people that own these widgets, it's a great reference and a great recipe thing for them.
I'll tell you, dude, I mean, the recipes are great. Again, we, just got it literally as I was heading out the door down here. But it was fun watching you along the way, because you did post some behind the scenes stuff when you were taking, filming content and taking the pictures. Dude, some beautiful, beautiful pictures. I mean, this is really, really spectacular.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
The first book, what I did is I do all the recipe development, cooking and testing and writing, iterating. I did all that first. And then the first book I worked with, I was lucky in Louisville. I had a food stylist that worked for Yum Foods that are based in Louisville, and she did freelance work. So she helped me do all the food styling. So we did all the photography afterwards, which was a lot of work. I mean, it was like literally 3 or 4 days in a row of cooking 10 to 12 recipes in a day, and then staging and food styling and all that. So this time I didn't have her in proximity to me. I was doing all my own food styling and my photography again. But this time I do like recipe in batches. I'd work on 6 recipes a week. So I'd do all the R&D, the development, the iterating and all that. And then once I got to the final dish that I thought looked great, and then I would do the photography there. So it was these little sprints. Anybody that's in the software world, it's like the little sprints. We do these little sprints all year long, and that's how we got the recipes and the photography done.
Good stuff.
But I couldn't share those recipes on social media, so I could only share like in the stories and the behind the scenes.
Right.
So it was a tough stretch, I'll tell you that.
So you were really pulling double duty. You were working on all those recipes and still to keep up on the social media content of cooking. So, you must have been at wit's end at some points there.
I may still arguably be at the end of my wits, but, you got to do what you got to do to promote the book. So here I am, wit's end or not.
Well, welcome to the club. We're getting jackets made up.
This is wit's end.
Oh, man, that's beautiful. But, like I said, I hadn't. Just flipping through it real quick, the pictures are fantastic, beautiful. The recipes, I can't wait to delve into. Like you got chuck roast with Bloody Mary braise.
Come on now.
That just that's got a nice New England fall day written all over that bad boy.
I just want to put a straw in and go to town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the cup with like a brisket hanging off instead of the fried chicken.
Right?
The ultimate barbecue Bloody Mary.
That's right.
Oh, yeah. There's the big beef ribs.
Come on. Look at the burnt ends. I mean, that's a gorgeous picture.
Yeah.
And thanks. And what I want people to know about it, they're not all. In fact, I erred on the side of making the recipes really easy and approachable. So, there are some out there recipes like we've talked about in the book, like wok and roll fried chicken and all that stuff. We use the wok to fry the chicken. But there are lots of recipes that are classics, like just how do you smoke ribs? How do you smoke ribs hot and fast? How do you do a brisket? So many people ask me about brisket, and I tailored my Big Green Egg brisket recipe to be a midnight brisket recipe, which is if you just put it on before you go to bed and you do these certain things, usually it turns out when you wake up, you can pick back up where you left off. And then if you rest it, then you're serving with spare time for your friends and family later that night. I go over that whole process in this book. So there's some very creative out there stuff, but there's also most of the stuff is very approachable, easy recipes that anybody can make.
So the midnight brisket, I'm actually coming out with a book, and I'm going to do the 8 o'clock brisket because that's when I go to bed.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Well.
Oh, believe me, I know. I got to always, whenever I try to get in touch with you, I got to figure out what time it is.
I'm like,
oh, no, forget it. He's been asleep for 3 hours now.
I'm too old. I'm an early.
I'm with you, bro. I mean, I was just having this conversation with somebody the other day. I said, I finally just got to a place where I just tell people I'm tired. I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
It's not worth the hassle anymore. And, we're preparing. Like my wife was like, what are we going to do? Everybody's coming in because we're having a big book release party and a bunch of people are coming to town. Captain Ron, Mel, Tina are all coming to town, and she knows when Mel's here, he stays up till like she's like, what are we going to do? I said, we are going to go to bed. He's going to stay out there semi-naked, just floating around in the pool. And we're both going to be okay with those decisions.
That's right.
So.
And with Mel coming down, it just happens to be the NHL playoffs. And the Oilers are going,
right?
So they got the late games for the West Coast, so he might not even sleep.
Yeah,
that guy doesn't sleep, and that's okay. That's okay. I'm gonna sleep hard.
God bless you and Debbie. So let's talk about that a little bit because yes, you do have Buddha Palooza coming this weekend, Sunday.
Yeah, it's coming up this Sunday. If you're local in the Tampa Bay, Florida area, it's downtown Gulfport, Florida, which is in the St. Pete part of the Tampa area. And it's at a place called the North End Tap House and Kitchen. Big Green Egg is one of the sponsors, Snake River Farms, Lobster Anywhere from y'all's neck of the woods.
Yep.
And everybody's descending. We got Cmac Cooks, Big Green Egg Foodie, Captain Ron, and Mel from BGE Team Green. I know Tyler Plays with Fire is going to be in town.
Nice.
We've got Trompo King's going to be here. Flame Boss is going to be here. The guy from Lobster Anywhere is flying down.
Joe's coming out?
Joe B's going to be here. I'm finally going to meet Joe B in person. I don't even know what to do. I've imagined what he looks like 10 million different times, and now I'm going to meet him. It's going to be crazy.
He's about my size, so I'll just
Is he a big guy, tall guy?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So that's all going down Sunday. But, of course, everybody gets in. Mel gets in. He just got to Tampa, but he's doing some work with the W Sauce guys for the next couple of days. He gets to my house on Thursday. And we're going to start doing all the prep. We're having a pre-party here Saturday night, which is I have a band that's going to be playing here at the pre-party, and we've got food and grilling. It's going to be like Buddha Palooza is really like a whole weekend thing. And I called it Buddha Palooza because much like you with your Rib Fest, CMAC, and that which you've been running for several years, I hope that the Buddha Palooza translates to something bigger than just the book signing. I would love to have more Buddha Paloozas down here and more barbecue grill action in the Tampa St. Pete area. So stay tuned.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Efren, what's happening? Chris Rosinski, Lep, Uncle Steve's in the house, Junior Salinas, what's going on, brother? So I was flipping through here, and we're going to have a little bit of controversy on this one recipe.
Okay. I see. I know where you're going with this one.
Yeah, right. This one is actually...
That might have to be for book 3. We might have to school them on the North Shore.
How many recipes could we do just off of this one style sandwich?
Yeah. Well, I know
3 right off the bat.
Yeah.
Which one are we talking about?
we got the Baltimore style pit beef sandwich.
Yeah, so that one's a hard one to touch and to do because so many people have their own opinion of it.
Yeah,
I grew up in Northern Virginia, right, and Baltimore Orioles was my baseball team growing up, and I've been to Baltimore so many times that when I'm thinking about local regional barbecue references, to me, Baltimore pit beef is always at the top of that list.
Yeah, because right off the bat, I can't wait. I'm gonna try this. The tiger sauce you have.
Yeah.
The recipe for that. Horseradish, mayo, lemon juice, garlic.
Versus James River.
Versus.
Yeah.
I know. So let's see. So we got the Baltimore style pit beef.
Yep.
The New England three-way.
Yep.
Giggity.
North Shore
style. We got New York has the beef on weck.
True.
Yeah.
Right.
True.
Chicago has the Italian
beef.
Italian beef.
Yep.
There's a French dip in there somewhere. I don't know from where. That still might be out Chicago too.
Yeah.
Oh, we got an idea rolling here.
So, Chris, one interesting thing. So, I live on the North Shore of Massachusetts, which is basically what cities? Is it about 4 cities?
I've been born and raised here.
Don't really know.
I still don't know where the lines are. Because if you go, what I do know, don't ever ask somebody, where you from, and they say Plymouth.
Yeah.
Don't ever say, down the Cape.
Yeah.
Okay.
Granted, you step 1 foot outside the thing and you're in the Cape. But no. It's a very fine line. So, I still don't know. But it's north of Boston is literally, I'd say, basically Charlestown out.
Yeah. So North Shore has got their North Shore beef or three-way, which is a very specific area, very specific sandwich with a bunch of extremely passionate people. I mean, there are Facebook groups. A good friend of ours has a very passionate Facebook group about North Shore beefs, which is also a great sandwich. But it's just funny how I don't even know if I'd necessarily call it regionally, because when I think of regional and barbecue, you think of Kansas City, you think of the Carolinas, you think of Texas. I mean, this is literally just a little part of Massachusetts has their own sandwich that outside of it really doesn't exist.
Right.
James River barbecue sauce, and how you have and I'll probably screw it up, but you got the cheese on the bottom bun and then the meat, right? So it doesn't get soaked. There's a whole
process,
very specific
whole methodology to it.
Oh yeah. Anyway, we got sidetracked.
Yeah,
we're talking
now
beef, man.
I'm super hungry as well.
I
And I'm
know.
thinking about now like all local super micro regional, barbecue, like
Yeah.
Kentucky black sauce and mutton and stuff like that. I mean,
Mutton.
there are people that, really get into their localized barbecue, or what they consider to be their localized barbecue. So that could be a whole other topic of the book.
Oh yeah. So going back to Buddha-palooza, you talked about the music again. I know you're a huge music guy, and I know this is kind of getting away from the cookbook and the food and everything, but you're sitting with guitars behind you. Talk about your passion for music.
So this is my little home studio. So all of my audio equipment's out here. I should get a backdrop that just shows the barbecue side of me when I do it, and I never think about it until I do things like this, and I'm like, dang, I should have had something that looked more barbecue, but. Yeah, before barbecue and online stuff became my biggest creative outlet, I've been a semi-professional musician off and on since I was in high school. So a long time I've been playing with bands and have done my time on the road and all that other kind of stuff. All of that, as most of these stories ended when I had my first child, Jessica, the daughter I referenced a little bit ago, and was certainly cemented into no-go land anymore when I had my son, Zach. But when they got older and in high school and stuff, and my wife at the time gave me a little leeway, I got back into it. And so music has always been a part of my life. So Buddha-palooza has 2 bands locally here, Leafy Green and the Various Vikings, and Jay Santi and Barefoot Groove. Both of these bands I have played in or do play in, and so I picked them strategically because I may, while I'm not signing books and cooking on
You
Sunday,
got it, right?
sit in a little. Got to sit in. Got to
there
show
you
the
go.
barbecue people the non-barbecue side
That's
of
awesome.
me.
Yeah, so like you said, we're looking at 5 of them right behind you. What do we got?
Yeah.
It looks like we got
We got a Gretsch
Strat
right here.
Gretsch right there. We got a Strat.
That's my main guitar there. That is an acoustic Alvarez. Then I'm professionally, and what I play mostly is bass. So that's one of my basses. It's another acoustic bass. There's all sorts of stuff. There's a big double bass over here, and then a bunch of stuff behind your drums and a PA and all that stuff.
Beautiful.
So yeah, I'm a bass player and vocalist with the bands I play with typically.
Awesome.
Yes.
Nice.
Good call on the you picking out the Strat and everything. I didn't see the Strat down there.
Oh, I love guitars. I have, I wouldn't even call chicken picking, relevant to what I can do. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I just love the actual art of a guitar.
Oh yeah.
How they look. Like I got a Silverburst Les Paul. I got the Fireburst or Sunburst Fender.
Sunburst, yeah. Like the classic Jimmy Page Les Paul. Yeah.
And we got the same in the Fender Strat, and we have a Washburn acoustic, which just had this the inlays were just beautiful on it. So they're hanging on the wall. Haven't picked them up in quite a while, but they're there when I get the itch. But whenever I see someone has them, okay, we're gonna watch, because couldn't tell if that was a bass or if that was another, like a Fender. What do they call it? The Jazz Master.
And there's one double bass there, and then I won't bore everybody else but the other side of the room, mostly because I'd be nervous I couldn't get the camera back the way it is right now. I turned that thing around, I'm like, oh, there goes the podcast. Nice. It got cut early. So
Chris, we got a couple questions. Daddy Dutch is asking, what is your favorite restaurant in the Clearwater, St. Pete area?
Great question. Is there a category that you want, or just favorite restaurant?
No, he'll say in a minute.
Dutch will eat anything.
The one that comes to mind first and foremost, I'm going to do two. If you're talking about like date night restaurant where you bring your wife somewhere to celebrate, there's an Italian restaurant here locally in Gulfport called Pia's. That is the right mix of ambiance, great quality food, and kind of a hip place to go be at. So Pia's would be, I guess, the best fancy restaurant. But like when I just want to go eat some good comfort food, there's a place called Mullet's Fish Camp, and man, I love that concept. It's down in right off of Martin Luther King, down in St. Pete near the water, and that place they have a smoker. They have two Lang 250-gallon smokers on site. They have some of the best smoked fried chicken wings in this area. They're insane. They're smoked mullet, all their fish there. Oh, wow. The menu has insanely, and I love the way they do their menu. They have you select the fish, so you have like 4 or 5 choices, and then you select the sauce, and you have between 4 different of their house sauces, so to give you an idea, it's like Asian sauce or a Greek sauce or a Cajun sauce, stuff like that. And then you could do it either platter, no bun, a sandwich, bun, or taco. So it feels like you have all these different choices, but you really don't. But it's very creative, and the food is really good. So Mullet's Fish Camp.
All right, he says Mullet's is amazing. So, okay, good call. Oh, there he is. CJ, what's up? Mr. Clarence Joseph himself is in the house. What's up, brother? And then we got Kyle is asking, out of this book, what's your favorite recipe for larger gentlemen like ourselves?
That's an easy one. I do General Tso's smoke fried ribs. So I took a play on those the smoking the ribs individually trend that was going around a lot last year. I cut all the ribs individually, seasoned them in like 5 spice, salt, pepper, kind of an Asian type rub. Smoked them for 2-3 hours. I forget what I did in the recipe, probably 3 hours, maybe 2 for ribs. And then after that, I let them cool while I set the Big Green Egg up for direct heat with the wok. I get the wok up to 375 degrees. I dredge them in a flour that's also seasoned with the same spices that I put onto the ribs. Fry the ribs, and then on the side, I've made this really awesome homemade General Tso's sauce, and then you toss that with the green onion and the sauce and the sesames, and you serve that, and it is banging. So for the big guys, if you want to go through all that effort to smoke and fry your ribs, It's like what I wanted to create is like chicken wings, that chicken wing eating concept, but with ribs, and it came out awesome.
Oh,
Really
that's fantastic.
I'm freaking starving.
I'm dying now.
Yeah.
Hello, 375. Here we go.
Yay.
Oh, shit. Oh, man. But yeah, Chris, this is awesome. Like I said, I can't wait to really delve into it. And, you know, the previous book was fantastic. So this is going to be right up there with it. Best of luck. Like we said, available today, folks. Look at Mojo bone-in pork chops. Come on now.
Yeah,
Good.
those are so good.
Or
Black
some
and
people call it
Krupa.
moho, but you know who's saying.
I'm from
Well,
Boston. Leave me the hell alone.
it's a New England thing. So.
Tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Hey, here's one.
So-
One thing I just want to throw in too that it really has not a whole lot to do with what we were just talking about. Here's one thing that I love about Chris. Not only has he been very welcoming as I kind of came into, you know, a little guy coming into the whole BGE Team Green and everything, but here's one thing that I really appreciate it from a social media perspective, right? There's a lot of people out there doing stuff, and you listen. You never know really if we get some cool opportunities to work with companies and everything. And you just never really know if people are genuine about the companies that they work with. Well, if you follow Chris, what you'll notice is that he has a very small stable of companies that he's very loyal to. And I know when I started doing this back in and I'm not comparing myself to Chris, and I'm far from that level in terms from a social media perspective, but I said, you know what, I just really want to work with companies that I use their product, that I am generally passionate about, because you get a lot of free stuff. You know, if companies want to throw free stuff at you and pay you and everything. Yeah. But Chris, I just got to say, I really appreciated that about what you do. I don't want to talk bad about anybody else because, you know, everybody's going to do what they're going to do. But from my perspective, personally, I love that fact about you. It's very obvious that you're engaged and loyal to the companies that you work with and aren't just kind of taking everything from everybody. And that I've never said that to you, but I just wanted to kind of point that out.
Well, I appreciate that. Those are kind words. Social media is a wacky world to live in, especially these days. Everything changes so quickly, and the way you create content and who resonates with it and everything is, you know, one day you got to figure it out. The next day it doesn't. But the one thing I always wanted to make sure is what you see me do online is how I am when you see me offline. I didn't want to be something that I'm not online, and I didn't want to just sell anything because people gave it to me or because they're paying me to. So if it ends up on my feed or it ends up something I'm using, it's actually what you would get if you just came to my house and the cameras weren't rolling. And that's sort of the non-verbal contract I have with everybody that follows me is this is how I live. This is the stuff I like. And, you know, if you like it, then, you know, give it a shot. This is why I like it. And here's go.
Yep.
So, yeah.
It's just authentic. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. But
I feel now back to that warm fuzzy like I thought at the beginning when you were calling me Chris.
You're welcome, Chris.
Yeah.
Stuffed Florentine chicken breast. Come on.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Oh.
Yeah, there's actually a funny backstory to that. I know you're trying to wrap up, but there is. So my dad was a restaurateur growing up, as I alluded to before, and he used to work for the Palm restaurant in New York, that famous steakhouse that's now everywhere, but at the time it was in New York. He worked for the Palm. He was one of the big waiters there. And when he went to open up his own restaurant, he basically did like the concept. So he was in there with like Morton's and Capitol Grill, that type of big boy 3 martini lunch steakhouse. And that was my dad's restaurant. Well, when I was a little kid and, you know, and I had a chance to go into his restaurant and eat dinner for my birthday or something like that, my favorite thing on the menu, granted, at the time it was like all prime, you know, aged beef, you know, 32-ounce prime rib, you know, like big boy beef. My little 8 to 12-year-old self was like, I like this chicken Florentine that he had on the menu. And it was, you know, a throwaway dish that was high margin for them because they were, you know, the steak is expensive. So, but my dad would love it when I'd come in because I'd order this chicken breast Florentine with that thing. And I love that stuffing so much. I wanted to do a little throwback to that
awesome.
recipe.
Oh, that's awesome. See, once again, it comes back to everything from the family. You know, which is beautiful.
Yep.
Big deal.
Oh, awesome, Chris. Like I said, brother, thank you so much for taking the time to join us. This is going to be, you got another winner here. So
doubt.
congratulations on that. Available today, all bookstores, Amazon. Do I even want to say Chrissy? I'll say Chrissy. I'll give you the warm, fuzzy feeling too. He's probably the link is down already.
It sure is.
She's good. She's good.
That's
So
what I'm here for.
the link's right there. Order yourself a copy. You're not going to be disappointed. It's beautiful. The pictures, the rest. Hold on.
And by the way, if I wasn't throwing, shameless plug, the great Amesbury Chowder Cook-Off on Saturday, I might just show up unannounced at your house again.
Well, you can. The last time my poor wife was on all sorts
I know,
of meds.
I felt
she just
so
had
bad.
her knee replaced. I was like, man, I would any other time you'd be in drinking a beer with me, but my wife is literally laid up on Oxycontin, can't see straight. I'm like, I gotta go. This isn't good, dude. But yeah, bring yourself. It's going to be a big party here. Friday night, Saturday night, then the big public-facing party is Sunday at the North End Tap House. For any of your listeners down this way, please come and see me, get a book signed, and support your local Buddha.
It's going to be great.
Fantastic.
Yeah, man.
Baked rigatoni with sausage and peppers. Come on now. I'm done.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Good God.
That
Especially
guy
with the
having-
Sunday sauce. And the recipes combined.
Yeah.
They all work together.
Chrissy, you got to
So
tell.
technically,
I
it's
know, he's
101
overloading,
recipes.
yeah.
Fantastic, brother. Where can everybody find you social media-wise, websites,
the
all that?
BBQ Buddha across the board. So you just type in the BBQ Buddha and you will find me. I'm at _BBQ_BUDDHA on Instagram. My website is the BBQ Buddha. I'll have autograph books available there starting next week once I get my store in here. When I get all my books here that I could ship out. And that's how you can find me. YouTube, the whole thing.
Awesome, brother. Awesome, brother. Like I said, thank you so much.
Yep.
Hang in there 1 second. We'll jump right back in with you. Fantastic.
Awesome.
You know what? I'm not sure I've left this show before being more hungry.
Dude,
I know.
I flipped to that rigatoni. Oh, my God.
I mean, it just.
I'm a sucker for pasta to begin with.
Well, I'm a
Oh,
sucker for
man.
food, but
Yeah, that too.
it's just beautiful pictures, great recipes. I can't wait to start knocking some out.
Yep. So your chowder event?
Yeah, we got the great second annual Great Amesbury Chowder Cook-Off at Bear Wolf Brewing this Saturday. We got live music. We got a cast of celebrity judges, including Cassandra Gove, our mayor, Bobby the Butcher Marcotte, whole bunch. It's going to be, it was a blast last year. We've opened it up to the full parking lot, expecting 500-600 people. And looking for some great chowder.
Chowder.
Yeah.
Atta boy.
It's start of the season, baby. We got events every weekend, so it's
Beautiful.
getting crazy. KCBS, SCA,
That's
you
it.
know.
That's it.
And you're throwing your hat in the ring, too.
I am in the ring at the Granite State Barbecue
it.
Championship on the weekend of June 3rd and 4th. We got People's Choice pulled pork on Saturday because that's coinciding with the New Hampshire Bacon and Beer Festival.
Yes.
And then we got the straight KCBS comp on Sunday. But, yeah, we're ready to go on that. Let's do it, brother. Woo! Woo-hoo! We're going to have some fun.
That's right.
But, awesome. Thank you for sitting in, brother. Always a pleasure.
Appreciate you letting me join you. Good seeing both of you. And
Yeah,
and my Chrissy, too.
Yeah. Which one? Now I'm confused.
Well, that's it for this week, folks. I'd like to thank you for joining us. Catch the audio wherever podcasts are found. Catch the video on Facebook, YouTube, or YouTube. Hit that subscribe button and notification bell. Have all our episodes right there at your fingertips. Social media links are all down below. Questions and comments, please send them to pitlifebbqpodcast@gmail.com. And like always, subscribe, like, rate, and review. Hit that share button. And until next week, keep the smoke rolling.
Keep it rolling, baby.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.